Um, this is what Gary means by line weight. See how what you've done here is you've just done what this is what's called a dead line. Dead line weight. So where it's uniform, it's even. There's only a little bit of variation here. Line weight traditionally, and I know that there are people who do very wonky like line weights where it's like, oh, let me do a big old glop of ink on that side, and like as if that makes it. That doesn't make sense, or it's at least it's not traditional. It's stylistic, and it's not my favorite style of doing things. For me, like say this is a ball, and I'm doing it. I would consider this my light source on this end, and then I would have that end have the thinnest line weight, and then I'd thicken it up on this side because that, with just the weight of the line, gives it a sense of depth, gives it a sense of weight, hence the term line weight, right? So if I'm assuming this a similar light source here, when I'm doing an arm here, I would thicken it up here, and then I would do the thickest line here. See how that works? And then I would do again thinner, thicker, thinner, thicker, like that. Yeah. And then very thick. Oh! On the bottom side, it would be thicker, right? Top side, thinner. Thick to thin. Thick to thin. Thick to thin, like that. That's line weight. Thick, thin, thick, thick, thin, thick, and medium. Like that. Now, if you're trying to do rendering here, you're not really asking me about inking as much as you're talking about rendering specifically. So Eric says, thank goodness Eden didn't see Mike beat the crap out of me. Phew. I'll let her watch it later, Eric. A wild Eden approaches a glop of ink. But if I'm to look at this and think this is supposed to be, I'm going to say this is supposed to be, is it supposed to be sinew? It's very hard to tell because it's just, it seems like just weird shapes. I'm going to try to make sense out of this. So I'm going to darken this up and give it sort of a robotic feel to it. So like this is metal, right? And then I'm going to assume that he's trying to go for like a flesh here. Well, I would do kind of a sinewy, kind of a flexed. Oh, who it is doesn't matter. Flexed. They know who they'll know who they are.
Yeah, Eddie has no skin.
Sinew and cyborg. All right. There we go. So yeah, so I would give the sort of a not. See, I'm not trying to be all perfect and smooth. I'm kind of giving it a little bit of fluctuation on purpose because it's organic and it's, like he says, sinew, right? So that's what I would do here just to give it that kind of a texture.
Did you do the final thing for the silent match?
No, not until midnight. 20 minutes, honey. All right, so again, metal. Metal would be smooth. So smooth lines tend to be faster lines, and that's kind of the problem a lot of people have with inking is they can't get smooth lines because they don't have faith in their line. Like they
have confidence.
That is correct. You have to have confidence in where you're going to throw your line.
Even if you get it wrong.
Well, look, if you get it wrong, right? Say I'm going from here to here, and I'm like, all right, I need it to be smooth. Can you stop shaking my chair? I'm trying to ink. Confidence
Online.
and having somebody shake your chair don't
Yeah,
always work
you gotta
out.
have the extra.
You need confidence and you need someone not shaking the workstation that you're on. So you throw in the line. Look at that. I missed. You see it?
Guess that means
Do you see
you're a
that I
loser and you
missed?
should give up art.
You see,
Just kidding.
I missed, but it's a smoother line. Now,
Mm.
I grant you, this isn't that smooth of a line because honestly, if I was doing this on paper, I'd just swing this around because the arc of your hand.
How did you do that?
I hit R.
Wow.
Because the arc of your hand goes, here's your pivot point. This is the arc of your hand. So when you're doing lines the other way, it's not a natural curve. But when you're doing it this way, that's a much smoother line, right? Let's say I miss. I'm going to try to miss. All right, there, I missed. It's off just by a little bit, but it's smooth. It's better to have that slightly missed but smooth line than it is to be like, all right, I got to make sure it's perfectly on the line. And then you're like, that's a really shaky line, though. It's perfectly aligned,
Or when people try
but
to
it's a
do
crap
Karen do
line.
it. Like the